You're not going to get much love here.
As someone who does believe in gender being a spectrum,
bring more sexualities or whatever you want.
I'm actually pansexual. I don't even know why I was even here, to be honest.
Okay, people, so we've actually returned to the university that I got forced out of, and we're going to be interviewing students, interacting, doing outreach, not in an aggressive sense, just in a way of networking and communicating my perspective. If people don't know, this is one of the wokest, craziest universities. It's got loads of the pronoun stuff, loads of the trans ideologies, critical race theory, all of this nonsense. I completely rejected it. I got forced out. I'm not here to be antagonistic. I'm here to genuinely put my opinion forward. So we've got the education system is broken, and then on the back we've got end state indoctrination. Because I actually went to this uni, but only for 3 weeks. Okay, and then I kind of got forced out because I disagreed with some of the stuff that they were teaching us.
Whether inclusivity and DEI should be part of universities, 100%.
Recently, like with the court ruling of there's only 2 genders, and then a university like this one who completely stands against that.
Yeah.
How does the university deal with that? Or how does that work?
well, I'm not seeing it in action here. I'm not in the DEI program, or I'm not seeing it, but I'm really glad this university still stands for it. As someone who does believe in gender being a spectrum and not really believing in the binary gender system, I'm still open to questioning that again and again and gain more knowledge.
Our ability to learn comes from embracing different perspectives and making sure people are not part of the sidelines because they're not a certain gender or race. So I do think that the fact that DEI is part of the university experience here at UAL and maybe other universities as well, I think that's essential.
So what do you think of pronoun badges and the pronoun stuff as well?
I think it's very expressing and accepting as well, because obviously when people were first coming out, not many people on their side of trans and pronouns and stuff.
Do you feel that if a university is being offered a lot of money to promote all the gender stuff or pronouns or all of these political values, which some might not agree with, but they're getting a lot of money, do you think that's right? Do you think there's a different motivation there?
Yes and no.
Everyone should be able to express themselves in whatever way they want. It's a creative uni, it's inclusive. I think that's the best way it should be. No one's causing me any harm. Everyone do as they want.
There's this whole heteronormative kind of, it's a weirdly, I don't know where's this consensus coming from, why people think that everyone, our experiences can be labeled in this kind of ridiculous way that, that this, I feel the kind of large part of the society seems to be aligned with. I find it really bizarre, to be honest.
And I was asked, how are universities, for example this one, going to deal with that court ruling? What's been sort of the reaction from the students? What's been the reaction from the university? Because I'm genuinely curious.
From the students, I would say it's been, if not all or majority, has been very, very disappointed with the court ruling. Deeply dissatisfied, myself and others included. We are not, I don't think this is what the university or the student body stands for, and we're very disappointed with what the outcome was. I think you also have to pay attention to the fact that the judge and whoever was engaged with this said that while they decided this, it doesn't actually stop any debate. In the past, people also made Supreme Court rulings on a bunch of things about child marriage, about slavery. It doesn't actually decide anything for our lives in reality besides on the legal basis of things.
Do you feel that somebody who disagrees with what you're saying and maybe quite passionately disagrees with it is welcome at this university as well? Because that's part of inclusivity, wouldn't you say?
I don't think that you would be not welcome. I can see that you had death threats, which is wild to me. I don't see that you would not be welcome, but I don't think that there's a point of you trying to learn at an institution like this unless you're open to expanding your worldview or your views and your opinions, because the institution teaches in a certain way, the student body is in a certain way, and if you come to a university like this and expect to not be taught in that way, and like you said, you didn't agree with the DEI policies of the university, etc., why are you coming? No offense, but why would you come and study here?
More inclusive, make it right now in this government they're trying to shut that down, but I think bring more cultures, bring more sexualities or whatever you want, just
You're referring to the court ruling that just came through?
Yeah. I think in an education system it's important to teach the new generation coming through to be more supportive of everyone.
kind of diversity inclusion stuff, I think it's been taken to the next level, and it's sort of shunning people who don't necessarily want to learn about this stuff or don't need to learn about this stuff. And it's also maybe a bit patronising. I mean, I feel like we live in a society now where constantly talking, it's like Morgan Freeman, right? He's really famous for saying,
how are we going to get rid of racism and stop talking about it?
And that's my perspective. I don't care if you're black, white, pink, blue, whatever. I don't even think, doesn't even come into my thought. I just see a person and I want to have a conversation with them.
I understand that this is your experience, but this is not the experience for a lot of other people. A lot of other people do feel marginalized. A lot of other people do feel like they are not, like because of their identity, are not being able to be prioritized in photography or in other fields.
Well, I remember really specifically being told on the first day about checking my privilege, and that because I'm white, there's an unconscious hierarchy and I might be kind of upsetting or intimidating to somebody who's black or mixed race. Personally, I believe, for example, there's two genders. That's my perspective, which for some people is a really hard topic to talk about, which it shouldn't be, especially as we're young people. We're there to sort of, especially in university, to have these discussions, right? Men going into female spaces, there's a conversation to be had there. I think if my mum went into a bathroom and then a man walked in just saying he's a woman, I would feel uncomfortable about my mum being in that in a female space. So it's a case of how far it's been pushed. My opinion is really simple. If you want to call yourself what you want, great. You just can't make me do it. If you want to identify and be a transgender, that's fine if you're an adult, but just don't push it on me or anybody or kids as well. I think it's really, really important.
Who's forcing it on kids?
Well, a lot of this is introduced kind of because you asked at the start of this interview about which part of the education system we're talking about. Kids as young as like 4 or 5 years old in primary school are being taught about this stuff.
Shouldn't they not know that these people exist?
Not if they're kids. I mean, they're 4 years old. It's like, I don't think so. I wasn't taught about it.
I actually, I'm not in primary school at this age. I wouldn't know exactly what's being taught, so I don't want to comment on this.
But real inclusivity would be saying, look, you're okay to have that opinion, you can have that opinion, and you can have that conversation. The problem comes when you turn around and say, you can't have that opinion, you're not allowed it. That's the problem.
I get you. You're talking about the cancel culture, right? And
yeah, in a sense, yeah.
No, I get what you mean, but I think, yes, you are. Well, we accept. I guess it's important to accept. Okay, everyone is as they are. You have this opinion. That's fine. However, it's very kind of important to also understand that some opinions, especially in the context like this, like the ruling, are extremely harmful for many humans. They are extremely harmful. Being queer or being trans or being anything that is out of the norm for heteronormative majority, okay, and maybe you belong to that, and maybe you think this way, it's not an identity, it's lived experience.
If you're teaching kids that from such a young age about these ideas, about these ideologies, that it may convince them to go in a direction which is quite permanent.
If I taught you about did it change what you think? I don't think if I told my younger brother who's merely a teenager now, in any of his life, if I had told him that trans people existed, he is very confident in who he is a person. I don't think kids just get confused like that.
So why it is interesting that since these kind of ideas have been introduced into education.
I have to go in a minute.
No, me too. So don't worry. Since these ideas have been introduced into education, there's been a massive spike in people coming out as transgender.
I think that's a correlation, causation kind of conclusion you have there.
I think it's a causation.
I'm actually pansexual. I didn't know I was pansexual.
Sorry, I don't know what that means.
Pansexual is when you are comfortable dating and love, are sexually attracted or whatever, and your sexual orientation is accepting of men, women, gender fluidity, etc., trans people, etc. I'm very open. I'm happy to love and be in a relationship with a person of any gender expression.
Can't control my language, my speech. I don't think that's right. I also don't think that men should be in female spaces. I don't think that we should have men identifying as women and then having female police officers strip searching them. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, but my some trans men look perfectly like men, and so you don't want them to go to female spaces either.
No, I don't.
This guy is not gonna go to a female bathroom just because a sign that they're female. What the hell?
Well, I think he should, or at least go to what you call gender neutral bathroom.
No, honestly,
it's a female space.
No, yeah, but yes, it's female space, but the problem isn't with trans people.
I just wanted to get an idea as to what's going on behind closed doors on university campuses. And as you can tell, now I am giving my personal opinion, it is insane. Students clearly are locked in to this woke virtue signaling ideology, which is just completely consumes them on every level. So I am intending to return to this university in the future with a sign which is maybe a little bit more virulent, talking about the kind of topics that I want to talk about. But today I just wanted to get an idea as to what's going on behind closed doors. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more public debate, more conversations to be had on these kind of topics in a way which isn't aggressive, in a way which isn't there to agitate and just provoke clickbait kind of conversation, then please consider supporting my campaigns. You can head over to my website, montgomerytoms.com, and you can support me for as little as just £3 a month. Or if you want to support me for more, you can absolutely do that. Thank you so much. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.